Coming up in this fully explained video with air traffic control, you're coming with me on a Delta A321 NEO from Orlando to Los Angeles on a situationally aware, outward-facing journey. And it all starts right now. That's right, you guessed it. By this fountain, I'm at MCL. And today, I'm flying to LAX. This is the first time I'm bringing the Los Angeles International Airport to my channel. I tried before, but a major delay got in the way. I had a connecting flight in Los Angeles a few years ago, and the flight from my origin airport got delayed around 8 hours, so I had to change my connecting city. But this time, LAX is my destination, and I'm going to make it there. I've already dropped off my bag, and I'm making my way to the airside, realizing that this will be the very first time I'm leaving Orlando, where my destination is not New York City. I can't wait to bring this new route for me to you. Tonight, we'll be flying the classic approach to LAX, and I'm beyond excited for it.
My aircraft type is a Delta A321 NEO. I've never been on the Delta A321 NEO before. Highlights of our route today after flying the Osprey departure will be flying over the Gulf and into the state of Texas. The arrival into LAX this evening should be the Hollywood arrival procedure, and I'm just guessing that we're going to do a straightened approach to LAX because that's what almost everyone does towards the Pacific Ocean. Let's see what happens tonight. And in case you're wondering, these are not the Delta gates. I almost always remain in a non-Delta concourse before my flight because there's always less people there. It's still quite crowded, but not as many people as the Delta concourse. I won't be going to the Delta concourse until it's close to boarding time.
And I'm not going to sit down because this terminal has window views. From here, I can see a Sun Country 737 completing its flight from Minneapolis. This Airbus is bound for Canada, and this wide-body will end up in London, England tomorrow. Here's another overnighter. This Delta A330 is headed to Amsterdam. Wherever this JetBlue A320 is headed, it doesn't matter because it'll brighten up any city with its Duncan colors. And foreshadowing a bit, this is a sister plane to the A321 NEO that I'll be on later tonight.
I think I've explored all I can of this airside. It's time to head on over to my gate.
I need to work my way over to the typically overcrowded 70s gate area.
All right, in the 70s gates, crowded as always. Today's call sign is Delta 867.
And it's delayed tonight, but only by 7 minutes. The reason for the delay is a slightly late arrival for my A321 coming in from Los Angeles. As I await its arrival from LAX, I got to see this UK-bound Virgin A350 and this old but majestic Boeing 757. Okay, the aircraft is on the ground. It's going to pull into the gate right behind me, gate 77. It's operating as the same flight number both directions, coming in from LAX and going right back to LAX, same flight number. It's my inaugural flight as a passenger on this aircraft painted in Delta's colors. I'm no stranger to the A321 CEO. In recent years, many of my flights have been on the A321. I'm going to admit that it's my least favorite aircraft type. It's too big, and the windows are too small, but I'm excited to check out the updated interior of the A321 NEO. I can tell this is a NEO, and not a CEO, based upon the black paint around the cockpit window. It looks sleek. Since this flight is a few minutes late, it's going to be turned around quickly from an arrival from Los Angeles to a departure to Los Angeles. Pre-boarding has begun. Today, I'm in Group 3, so let's head on over to LAX. Let's get on board. My eyes were immediately drawn upward at the unique ceiling design.
What a beautiful interior on this A321 NEO.
Today, my seat is in Delta Comfort. I'm in the first row of Delta Comfort, so I have some extra legroom, and the TV monitors were on the bulkhead wall. The windows appear to be larger than on the older A321 due to the new window bezels, but it's just an illusion. The surface area of the window pane itself is still small. Therefore, as usual, I have less space to work with while filming out. But before pushing back, I'm taking in this space. I'm impressed by the colors that I see above my head. The color scheme is great, and I hope to see it on more planes, but even better is the space in front of me. The legroom was fantastic, but I'm not here for legroom or aesthetics. I'm here to look out the window, and I'm happy that the window is clean, and I can maintain situational awareness throughout the flight. I paid for a main cabin seat, and the upgrade to Delta Comfort is complimentary, but what unites everyone is that we're all on the same plane, sharing the national airspace system with thousands of other flights. It's time to push back onto the ramp of airside number 4 here at MCO. Accomplished by a tug attached to our nose gear, we carefully move backwards under tug power. We're pushing back under the control of RAM controllers. In a moment, we'll be moving under our own power and will contact the FAA's ground controller in the tower for taxi instructions to our departure runway. Today, we'll be using runway 18 left for takeoff. Here to Orlando, there are two sets of parallel runways. Two are on this side of the airport and two are on the other side. Runway 18 left is on the other, or west side of the airport. The reason for using the runway that's further away is because after takeoff, we'll turn right, which is to the west, and that points us in the general direction that we need to go to get to Los Angeles. Specifically, we'll turn right after takeoff to a point called Villains, which is located over Cedar Lake Drive in the Meadowwoods area of Orlando, which is around 6 miles southwest of the southern part of the Orlando International Airport. Villains is part of the Osprey 1 departure procedure, so once we take off, you'll notice a right turn toward Villains. This will be followed by a few more turns to the right to get us on course to the LA area. We've now approached runway 18 left after a lengthy taxi to the runway. We'll be behind that Southwest 737. In a moment, the tower will issue takeoff clearance to that plane, indicating that it too needs to fly to Villains. We won't hear the pilot's response, but after that plane comes our clearance to line up and wait on runway 18 left.
Public 490 on us to Villains, runway 18 left for takeoff. Delta A321 Orlando card, runway 18 left line of point, 30 traffic crossing up.
The tower also indicated that traffic will cross downfield. Our parallel runway, runway 18 right, is being used for arriving traffic, and in order for arrivals to get to the airline terminal area, they need to cross our runway, runway 18 left. So we'll have to wait a few moments for the tower to cross a plane that just landed on runway 18 right. The delay is necessary because the previous departure, the Southwest 737 ahead of us, is flying to Villains, which is where we're headed, and a delay keeps us safely separated from that plane, which is doing exactly what we're going to do in a moment. Now that we're in position, the tower will cross the plane that just landed ahead of us on the runway.
Delta 2035, traffic holding in position, cross runway 18 left to Echo and contact downplane.
Up ahead, our pilots are keeping an eye out the window, ensuring that we're not given takeoff clearance until the runway is clear of the crossing traffic. In a moment, the runway will be completely clear of crossing traffic. We'll move to that point so we can get issued takeoff clearance. We are given the current winds, told to fly to Villain, and the words that will get us airborne. Cleared for takeoff.
Delta A327 wind 1107 on us to Villains, runway 18 left for takeoff. Cross 2470 left turn left to Echo, hold shuttle runway 18 left.
Tower up to 2561, we're on the 6-mile island, 18 right.
Delta 2561 Orlando card, runway 18 right to land, wind 1107.
Runway 18 right, clear.
South 2478, cross runway 18 left to Echo and contact downplane.
We are airborne, climbing on the Osprey departure procedure to 7,000 feet as published. We'll turn right to Villains in a moment. That's a really nice view of Terminal C down there. We're leaving the jurisdiction of the tower controller and are going to be asked to contact the Orlando departure controller.
Delta 867, contact frequency flight.
Departure Delta 867, so long.
It's time to switch frequencies as we climb through 2,000 feet and turn to Villains.
Departure evening Delta 867's 2000, climbing 7.
Unfortunately, I wasn't able to pick up the controller's response.
But the controller probably just said that we were identified on radar. As we proceed to Villains, we simply wait for the controller to provide the next command. I'll move forward to that point, but we'll only hear our pilot's response, which is direct Osprey. Osprey is the next point on the departure procedure, and it's located just north of Polk City in Polk County. More specifically, it's located near Ridge Rock, which is roughly halfway between Lakeland and Auburndale. Once over Osprey, we'll follow more fixes towards Florida's Gulf Coast. Let's hear the pilot's response to proceed to Osprey.
Osprey Delta 867.
Let's move forward in the climb. We're climbing to the west under the control of the departure controller. We'll eventually be handed off to a high-altitude center controller as we climb higher. It's a great night for flying, and I'm constantly looking out the window for things to spot. There goes the Kissimmee Gateway Airport, a general aviation airport with 2 runways at 5,000 and 6,000 feet long. Let's continue the climb. I'm happy I'm seated on the left side of the plane because we're coming up on Tampa and the Tampa Bay area. That's Tampa down there, and to its right, we can see Tampa Bay. Tampa is a large city and the seat of Hillsborough County. It's the 49th most populated city in the United States. If you think it looks big, keep in mind that along our route, we're going to pass over the 4th most populated city in the USA during this flight. I'm especially excited to see the Tampa International Airport down there, which serves 100 destinations. That's it right down there. It's located right near Tampa Bay. We can see how the airport is in a northern flow with a Southwest 737 from Atlanta on final approach to runway 1 left. On the other side of the bay, where the flashing lights are, is the St. Pete Clearwater Airport. It's an operating base for Allegiant Air.
Well, we're coming up in our cruising altitude now, and I'm excited to be over the Gulf.
It was mostly dark over the waters of the Gulf, so I took a quick moment to admire the interior of this A321NEO while in flight. I can't get over the colors of this aircraft. It is really, really stunning inside. But I'm not going to dwell upon the interior because it's my first time flying over the Gulf, and I was astounded by how many ships we're able to see out there. Many of these ships are waiting for berths to open at major ports like Tampa, New Orleans, or Galveston, or they could be bunkering. I couldn't believe how many ships I saw. We're now approaching Texas after flying near the mouth of the Mississippi Delta on the right side of the plane. Look how many ships are anchored just outside of Galveston, Texas. It was like looking at constellations in the sky. This was worth seeing, and I love discovering new things from the air. The weather is great in this part of Texas, and we're coming up on the Houston area. Houston is the 4th most populated city in the USA. It's considerably larger than Tampa, but not the largest. Our final destination is larger, and it's the 2nd most populated city in the USA. New York City is number 1, and I fly over it regularly, especially at night, so make sure you check out the many videos I have on this channel flying over the Big Apple. For now, I'm taking in this amazing view of Houston. As we leave the Houston area, I spotted an ABEX 767 flying from San Antonio to Houston down there. Directly below us is Austin, Texas, but it's covered in clouds, so all we can see are the city lights illuminating the clouds, but the weather is much better in San Antonio, which we can clearly see in the distance as there are no clouds over it. San Antonio is the 7th most populated city in the USA. Everything in Texas is big, of course. Things got cloudy over Texas, so I took a walk to the lab, focusing on the ceiling only. Once things cleared up down there, I had a magnificent view of El Paso, the 23rd most populous city in the USA. El Paso is near the border of Mexico and New Mexico. We're actually not just looking at El Paso here because the far side of the city is actually Ciudad Juarez in Mexico, which has a population of 1.5 million. We've crossed the state of Texas, which is large, and have entered the state of New Mexico now. Down there is Deming, New Mexico in Luna County. It is a population of 14,700 and is home to the Great American Duck Race. We've entered Arizona at this point, and in the distance is Tucson. We're viewing it from the Phoenix area, and if we look straight down, we can see the southern extremities of the greater Phoenix area in Chandler. Down there, we see a Southwest 737 climbing out of Phoenix to the south, bound for San Antonio, and at the western extremity of the Phoenix area, we pass over Buckeye, Arizona. That moving light down there is an American A320 flying from Phoenix to Fresno. We're now all ready to fly the Hollywood arrival procedure, which is the standard terminal arrival procedure for Los Angeles for flights coming from this direction. In general, we'll head west and land on a runway that heads west just before the Pacific Ocean. It's now time for us to check in with SoCal TRACON, the approach control facility for Southern California.
Approach evening, Delta 867 out of 300, descending via, we have Bravo.
Delta 867 SoCal approach after descending via. When you get to Seaview, you're then cleared ILS runway 24, right approach.
Seaview 24 right, approach cleared for Delta 867, thank you.
As we look at the Palm Springs and Palm Desert area, we're told that we can expect runway 24 right at LAX, and when we get to Seaview, a fix that will cross between 12 and 14,000 feet, we're cleared for the ILS approach to runway 24 right. That's the first time I've been on a flight that we've been cleared for an approach that far out. I mean, we weren't cleared for it yet. We have to wait until we get to Seaview, but that's still pretty far away from LAX. But it makes sense, since it's basically straight on into the runway from here with some minor turns as we follow the arrival procedure. Down there, we're looking at March Air Reserve Base in Riverside, California. Now, before we get to real time, I'm going to play the readback of our pilot of speed reductions. Unfortunately, we can't hear the controller. Here's the first readback to reduce our speed to 280 knots.
280 on the seat, Delta 867.
Shortly after that, we were told to reduce our speed to 250 knots, and here's the pilot acknowledging that.
All right, 250, we'll let you know, Delta 867.
We were eventually handed off to a second approach control frequency.
28.5, Delta 867, so long.
It's time to check in with the final approach controller. We're at 10,000 feet on the arrival procedure for runway 24 right.
Approach evening, Delta 867 with you at a 10% of the Delta 24 right.
Delta 867, approach router.
We simply continue following the arrival procedure. I'm going to move forward a few more miles, and we'll be continuously filming and providing ATC in real time until we land. Let's start the remainder of the video at the point where the controller tells us to maintain a speed of 210 knots or greater. This helps keep us configured from other aircraft on the arrival.
Delta 867, maintain speed 210 or greater.
210 or better, Delta 867.
Okay, we're set up for a classic approach to LAX on this brand new A321NEO. I say classic because most arrivals to LAX land from the east to the west as the wind comes from the west over the Pacific Ocean. There are two sets of parallel runways, the north set and the south set. Runway 24 right paired with runway 24 left is on the north side. South of the terminals is 25 right and 25 left, which essentially act as a separate operation. So LAX is kind of like two airports built into one. And to show you how the south side is not affected by the north side, check out that white light out there. That's an Aeromexico 737 from Mexico City headed to LAX, but it will land on runway 25 left on the south complex. It's getting ready for a left turn to join the final approach course. The pilot of that plane is talking to a separate approach controller, and once it's handed off to the tower, the pilot will be talking to a separate tower controller from ours who will issue landing clearance. So you can clearly see how the south side is a separate operation. You can also clearly see how populated the area below us is. There are lights everywhere, and there are even more on the other side of this plane. We're headed west looking south, and we're looking at the South Whittier community. A car ride from here to LAX would take about an hour in the LA traffic, but we'll be on the ground in just 6 minutes. The LA traffic is a result of the population density. While the population of LA is 3.5 million, the metro area has nearly 13 million people. From here to the runway, all we'll see are city lights. Way in the south, the lights do come to an end, as that's the Long Beach area out there. While the coastline runs north-south in front of us, it curves and runs east-west south of LAX, where Long Beach is, so beyond Long Beach, we're looking at the Pacific Ocean. We're getting closer to the airport and are about to get handed off to the control tower operator who's responsible for the north set of runways. The approach controller is going to give us one final speed restriction. We'll be told to maintain 180 knots or greater to Kobe. Kobe is a fix on the approach located 8.5 miles from touchdown. We'll cross Kobe at 2,200 feet. The name Kobe pays tribute to Kobe Bryant, the basketball player who lost his life in a helicopter accident here in California. Here comes the final approach control transmission.
Delta 867, maintain 180 knots or greater to Kobe. Contact LA Tower on 1339er. Have a good day.
180 or better, going to tower 33 knots. So long.
When we check in with the tower, we'll indicate that we're approaching runway 24 right. The tower will inform us that we're following a 737, which is 9.5 miles ahead of us. The issued wind will be 290 degrees at 6 knots. It's expected, since 290 degrees means it's coming from the Pacific, and that's the predominant wind here as we head toward the airport with the ocean just past it. We'll also be told that we're clear to land.
Tower easy, Delta 867, 24 right.
Delta 867, now tower 9.5 and travel Boeing 737, wind 290 at 6, wind 24 right, clear to land.
24 right, clear land, Delta 867.
Now that we're cleared to land, the South Tower controller focuses on an Alaska flight that just landed on our runway and needs to cross runway 24 left. He'll be given crossing clearance and will be handed off to the ground controller, and a flight that just took off on runway 24 left will be told to contact departure control.
Alaska 195 at Yankee, cross runway 24 left, contact ground.
Yankee cross 24 left, contact ground, Alaska 195.
Southwest 1912, contact the ground departure.
Or departure, Southwest 1912.
Those transmissions make sense. The Alaska flight was on the ground after landing, holding short of runway 24 left, waiting to cross the runway, and the Southwest flight was told to contact departure, which means that the Southwest flight just passed by the Alaska flight on the ground on the takeoff roll, so the controller asked Alaska to cross the runway. We'll be in the exact same situation when we land. We'll clear runway 24 right to the left. We'll hold short of runway 24 left, and once a departing flight on runway 24 left passes in front of us, we'll be cleared across the runway, and the departing flight will be told to contact departure control. The tower will now tell a Delta flight to line up on runway 24 left, indicating that a plane from runway 24 right will cross the runway ahead.
Delta 407 LA tower, traffic will cross, runway 24 left, line up and wait.
Runway 24 left, Delta 407.
Runway 24 left is clear now, so the controller has a southwest flight that just landed, exit runway 24 right, and cross the runway without stopping, and contact ground control.
South 329, Southwest Victor, cross runway 24 left, contact ground.
That's it, Victor, clear cross 24 left and then over to ground, Southwest 329.
That southwest flight was actually the flight that we were following, so there's no one in front of us now. The runway ahead of us is ours, but I'm not sure if our flight deck crew can fully see it because there will be a small layer of clouds up ahead that we'll have to pass through. We also know that there's an Aeromexico plane on approach to the south set, but it's a few miles behind, so we can't see it anymore. Everything is going well, and our flight deck crew has configured the aircraft for landing. The gear is down, and the flaps are set, and we'll be on the ground shortly. We're getting lower and lower over a dense city on this amazing approach to LAX. I'm enjoying the views of the endless grid system of the second largest city in the USA. A night approach view is simply satisfying. Now, there is a plane behind us. It's JetBlue, and it's coming in from JFK. The plane will check in with our controller, and our controller will say that 8.7 miles ahead is an A321. That's us. JetBlue will also get clear to land.
North Tower, JetBlue 423, ILS 24 right.
JetBlue 423 out there, 8.7 and trail of Airbus 321, wind 2906, wind 24 right, clear to land.
Clear to land 24 right, JetBlue 423.
Now, that's a great view of the SoFi Stadium, which is currently known as Los Angeles Stadium for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. On runway 24 left, the tower will now issue clearance to a Delta flight and tell the aircraft to fly RNAV to Delray after takeoff.
Delta 407 RNAV Delray, wind 2906, runway 24 left, clear for takeoff.
RNAV to Delray, clear for takeoff, 24 left, Delta 407.
Now, the next transmission is important for us. Southwest is going to be told to line up and wait on runway 24 left behind the departing Delta flight. Here, the tower asks that flight to enter the runway.
Southwest 2785, LA tower, wind 24 left, line up and wait.
Now, the Southwest pilot doesn't respond just yet, but the controller will try again soon. This will be the airplane that will be departing on runway 24 left once we clear runway 24 right. So after landing, we'll have to wait for the Southwest plane to pass by our taxiway before we're allowed to cross runway 24 left. As we land, we'll see this Southwest 737 go into position. The tower will now try Southwest again, this time successfully.
Southwest 2785.
Go ahead, 2785.
Southwest 2785, runway 24 left, line up and wait.
Line up, wait, 24 left, 2785.
Now that the Delta flight is airborne, it's going to be handed off to departure control, and the Southwest flight will get clearance for takeoff. Look out for it as the transmissions occur.
Delta 407, connect SoCal departure. Southwest 2785, RNAV Delray, wind 2906, wind 24 left, clear for takeoff.
4 left, clear for takeoff, RNAV Delray, Southwest 2785.
That's Southwest. It's entering the runway, and as soon as it's lined up, it'll begin its takeoff roll. It's now time for us to land on runway 24 right. As we slow down, we're told to hold short of runway 24 left, the runway that the Southwest flight is taking off on.
Delta 867, hold short, runway 24 left.
Hold short, 24 left, Delta 867.
Our pilot chose taxiway Whiskey to vacate runway 24 right. Whiskey leads to runway 24 left. There's no taxiway in between, so we vacate the runway on Whiskey and take it to runway 24 left. The tower is now going to tell the next plane, an American flight, to line up and wait on runway 24 left.
American 10, LA tower, traffic will cross, runway 24 left, line up and wait.
Line up, wait, 24 left, American 10.
By this point, the Southwest 737 should be nearing rotation, so I'm focusing on seeing it in its initial climb. As soon as it passes in front of us, the tower should tell us to cross runway 24 left on Whiskey.
With your seatbelt fastened and your carry-on items stowed until the captain has turned off the seatbelt sign. Please be careful when opening the overhead bins to avoid injury.
There it is! It's now time for the crossing clearance.
Delta 867, Whiskey, cross runway 24 left, connect ground.
Cross 24 left, ground, Delta 867.
We can now cross runway 24 left at Whiskey. The tower controller will ensure that the American plane on the runway is not issued takeoff clearance until we're clear of the runway. Once 100% of our aircraft is clear of the hold bar on the other side, American can take off. The next arrival was pretty far behind us, so I don't think anyone else needs to cross the runway. Now we've switched over to the ground control frequency, but before we were able to check in, the ground controller issued us taxi instructions.
Delta A67, Los Angeles ground, taxi Echo, hold short Delta 9.
Echo short Delta 9, Delta A327.
We're told to taxi via Echo and hold short of Delta 9. We can see the JetBlue flight from JFK about to land behind us. We basically need to make a U-turn from our landing direction, and turning left on taxiway Echo brings us toward the airline terminal gate area, but along the way we need to stop at taxiway Delta 9. Delta 9 is actually the taxiway that we'll use to get to the Delta ramp, so it's quite far down. We'll be pulling into gate 20 today. In a moment, we'll see the JetBlue plane about to vacate the runway and the American plane taking off. Let's move to that point. As we moved along, the controller told us that the alleyway is clear so we can take Delta 9 to the ramp. Let's move to that command.
Delta A67, if the alley is clear, Delta 9 to the ramp.
Delta 9 and Delta 867.
We can now proceed to the gate to terminate this flight.
So what did you think of that approach? I thought it was great tonight. Alright everybody, I'm going to end my video here on the escalator here at the Los Angeles International Airport. What a joy it is to have flown this route from MCO today on the Airbus A321NEO. Thank you so much for joining me, and remember that I'll be back with another video just like this soon, so if you haven't done so, hit that subscribe button. See you everybody.